Hello!
Hi, we just saw
Avengers Infinity War.
And so yeah, how do we do this without giving away the possibly a spoiler to like rival the one in Empire Strikes Back?
I don't know. Really. We could have just done it in 2 seconds, but...
yeah, but then that would defeat the purpose.
Yeah. The movie's very controversial.
At least the ending.
It is very much a season ender with a hole open.
Next time on
Avengers.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. But I guess we have to talk about it.
Yeah, so...
It picks up basically where Thor Ragnarok left off.
And yeah, right from the start you start, the body count.
Oh yeah.
Because yeah, remember in the end of Thor Ragnarok, sorry if you haven't seen that one yet.
Spoilers!
But at the end of Thor Ragnarok, remember like the surviving Asgardians go off in a spaceship and after Asgard itself was destroyed.
To Norway.
Yeah, but then in the end credit scene of that, Thanos' ship shows up.
Yeah.
And then this movie opens up with the continuation of that, where basically Thanos and his goons just kill every single Asgardian except for Loki, Heimdall, and Thor, because, top billing, they're saved for last.
Yeah. And Loki tried to play both sides, because, the god of mischief and all that, but Thanos just was not having it.
Yeah. and
he picked up the Hulk and just threw him like he was nothing.
Yeah.
He scared the Hulk so much.
Well, I'm not so sure that's why... Well, we'll get to that later. But anyway,
And then he just snaps Loki's neck.
Yeah.
Just like it's nothing, just...
Yeah. And then, of course, kills Heimdall after Heimdall allows the
Thor
Hulk
to escape.
The Hulk.
Oh yeah, Hulk to escape. Thor tries to fight.
Yeah.
And then Thanos like, nope.
Yeah. And then just blows up their ship.
Oh yeah. But Thor's 1,500 years old. He can't die. This movie tried to kill him twice. He wouldn't die.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically sectioned off into like 3 different groups of people for the heroes. It's Iron Man, Spider-Man, the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, it's honestly there's so many different characters switched around with different action scenes. It's really hard to just from one viewing remember who was with who at which point, and I don't know if there's any point in trying because we're gonna botch it up horribly. Yeah. But the movie managed to pull it off.
Yeah, it basically separated the team into 3 different stories, all trying to find Thanos.
Yeah, but even those stories got separated into different stories as those characters got switched around, and basically all I can say is they did it perfectly. There was no confusion when you're watching it. It's only after you're like, wait, who is with who again? It's one of those have to watch it again sometime movies to really grasp all of it.
Yeah, and it's basically Thanos just wrecking everything,
and one by one getting the Infinity Gems. One thing that bothered me a little bit is he started off already having the power gem, and then it's just a throwaway line later that, he decimated Xandar to get it, and why didn't we get to see that?
I don't know. Maybe they filmed it and it would have taken too much time.
Yeah.
I don't know. We had to shoehorn in tons of characters.
They weren't shoehorned in, though. They all had a part to play.
Yes, but there were too many characters to flesh out anything other than...
They were already fleshed out in their own movies.
Yes.
So we already knew about them going in.
Did you see the New York Times post on the Infinity War?
No.
They basically said, "Oh, this explains nothing. That we just get dropped in." Basically complaining about a finale without watching everything else and wondering why this is a finale.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's like, New York Times.
New York Time Gem. The Eye of Azumoza, which was a major plot point. Who cares?
Yes.
The Eye of who cares what it's called.
Comic book nerds! Yeah, but it turns out the eye was basically a fake, and he was...
It's a fake!
Somehow manipulating the time gem without physically interacting with it. He made the time gem appear out of nowhere and gave no explanation on how he was using it.
Maybe there'll be an explanation in the sequel. Ooh.
Because, being based off the Infinity Gauntlet, not the comic, not the Infinity War comic, and based, not loosely, not a direct adaptation. Although a lot of things were familiar.
Yeah.
If you've read that comic.
Yeah, or just watch Linkar's review of it.
Yes. Who has two thumbs and wants you to go watch that review? This guy.
Because he is a man.
With a pretty hat.
So...
we can't really talk much else about the story without giving spoilers.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about, like...
all the action set pieces were done really well.
Yeah. In my opinion. Oh, Thor gets a new weapon. This time an axe.
Yeah.
They called it something the Starbreaker or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just the Starbreaker.
Yeah, well...
I think that was the mold, or something to do with the mold and what made it.
Yeah, I mean, I still prefer his old hammer, but hey, what are you going to do?
It's destroyed.
Yeah, I know. They could have just made a new Mjolnir, bigger and better, like...
That's what the axe is.
Yeah.
Essentially, it also was built to be able to kill Thanos, which didn't quite work out how Thor hoped it would.
Yeah, let's not talk anymore about that.
Yeah. But like freaking... I'm trying to think. I don't know. Like
Teenage Groot is now he's just Teenage Groot.
Yeah.
Remember, like the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2. Again, spoilers.
I'm sure enough people have seen that.
Yeah, in Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2, he was Baby Groot, but at the end credit scene, he became Teenage Groot, and that wasn't just a throwaway gag. He's Teenage Groot in this movie, and it is awesome. I am Groot, playing video games the whole time.
I'm Groot.
I am Groot.
And somehow Thor's...
Oh, Groot's arm became Thor's axe's handle.
Yeah. Which looked very painful. Essentially, you had to chop off your own arm.
But Groot has always kind of been able to do that. Like in the first movie, he just his arms just sort of fell off, and he's like, Groot, trying to pick them up.
And Thor can speak Groot. And I love the throwaway line. Yeah, it was an elective. Like just in school. He learned Groot language in school. As a throwaway. Some of the funniest bits were the interactions with Thor and Rocket Raccoon.
And because that's another point. Thor survived the ship blowing up because he's frickin' Thor.
Yeah.
And then just like because coincidence, it wasn't coincidence. They picked up a distress signal. The Guardians of the Galaxy picked up a distress signal, which was from the Asgardian ship. And then Thor just smucked on their window like a bug. But
friggin' Rocket trying to get it off. I can't remember.
You turn the windshield wiper.
Yeah. That was some of the funniest jokes, or just like the humor was with the Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor.
Yeah.
Because Thor is just like he's just like yep. Like basically immune to any of the weirdness. Because at this point, 1,500 years, nothing's weird to Thor.
And he just got out of Thor Ragnarok, which had Sakaar and Jeff Goldblum. I mean, after you've met Jeff Goldblum,
that guy, basically,
because you see, that's the essence of chaos theory right there. Yes.
Just kind of. Yeah. I really appreciated the almost heart-to-heart Rocket and Thor had. That was a very it wasn't in Rocket's original character to be that kind of it showed the development of Rocket and also had a very touching moment between Thor.
Yeah.
Who kept calling him a squirrel?
No, a rabbit.
Or a rabbit. Originally, that would have pissed Rocket off to the point of shooting him, but at this point he's like.
Well, because he knows. Well, first of all, he knows he needs Thor, and second of all,
Thor's bringing him to weapons. which are Rocket's favorite things.
And third of all, it wouldn't do anything to him. He's freaking Thor.
Yeah.
He literally survived not only the ship from the end of Thor Ragnarok blowing up,
but he survived the vacuum of space.
Not only that, he also survived the full brunt of like the, you know how neutron stars have those beams that...
Yeah.
He survived that. A face on.
Although pretty much the axe was the only thing that kept him alive.
True, but he survived long enough for it to work.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping for him to generate thunder in space, but it was like, oh well.
Yeah. Well,
what are you, the god of sparkles?
Well, thunder wouldn't work in space, like lightning or whatever, because, you know, but then again, how's he talking in space?
He's a god.
Yeah.
Gods are on a higher plane.
Yeah.
It's the whole point of being a god.
Yeah.
I think Peter Quill made more of an ass of himself in this than either Guardian movie.
Yeah.
Because they had a plan to defeat Thanos, and it might have worked.
But as we learned from Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2, he has a temper.
Yes. Guns to the face of Thanos do not really work. Nor does anything to anywhere on Thanos. The most anyone could get was a drop of blood before Thor's axe.
Yeah, like, and it was actually Iron Man, Tony Stark, who managed to do that, which was surprising because he's just a guy in a super suit. But yeah. Oh yeah, his suit got upgraded big time.
Of course it did, because he's Tony Stark.
Yeah, but I mean,
he never stops upgrading.
I have a feeling it wasn't name dropped or anything, but I have a feeling this was the endosim armor.
Maybe, because he said something about particles, like because he built the reactor back into his chest that doesn't need to be there, but it helps control the suit, or is the suit.
Yeah, much like Black Panther's suit is in his necklace.
Yeah.
But
it was nice to see Bucky again.
Yeah.
And somebody we're not going to mention, but a certain hooded figure. With a skull for a face.
Oh! Well, now you just...
Well, you weren't getting it!
Yeah, well, there's so much happening in this movie that I forgot.
You had a look of shock when you saw him! How could you forget that?
Yeah, okay. But again, so much happened in this movie that it just kind of got buried in my mind for a second there.
There's a bit of banter back and forth between Wong and Strange talking about money.
Yeah, oh yeah, like
like how much... You don't have any money? Like, all worldwide possessions, we got rid of something. It's like, I do have this. It's 200 some random currency.
Rupees.
And Strange's like, how much is that worth in currency? $1.50. Which is basically the trade-in value of any game after you purchase it. If you try and trade it back in EV Games, it's worth about $1.50.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable.
Yeah, it was...
The ending both pissed me off for reasons we're not going to explain because it'd be massive spoilers.
Yeah,
it also made me sad.
But I actually think it was the ballsiest and probably the best way that they could have gone, because again, it's the only reason we're not outright saying it, though we're probably implying it.
Yeah.
Because it may in fact rival the ending of The Empire Strikes Back, the I'm your father.
Yeah. So.
And it may be looked back on in 10 or 20 years as one of those great twist endings. So...
Go watch it?
Yeah, unless you just plain hate Marvel.
Then you also hate fun.
Oh, by the way, we saw the Deadpool trailer, and of course, you know, he referred to Cable as Thanos, yes, because, you know, same actor.
Yes. And he responded to Cable, "What are you, from the DC universe?"
Yeah. Because he's too dark.
Yes. Oh, there's the Stanley cameo.
Bus driver.
Bus driver.
Yeah.
So long. I'm Tony Stank.
And I'm your, I'm...
Friendly neighborhood serial killer?
No, he's not a serial.
Yes, he is.
Not in the same sense. He's a merc. There's a difference. He kills for money, not for pleasure.
Slight difference.
Anyway, bye.
Bye.
Keep an ace up your sleeve.
And keep it weird.
Keep a weird ace up your sleeve.
Just pause it. Just end the video.